Loktar Ogar for the Horde. Even though I'm playing Alliance, but you know, it just sounds cool to do it that way. So this is classic era seasonal. I know technically they just call it classic seasonal, but when you call something classic, people will think, like right now, that it's Cataclysm. This is like with no expansions whatsoever. This is the OG World of Warcraft, but with some added little things. So this could potentially be looked at as a beta, if you will, for what will be potentially be Classic Plus. So here you'll get spells that never existed until much later on in the life of WoW. I don't know what this is. But they brought it back to Classic. Or there's some spells that have never existed. I don't think Fury of the Storm Rage ever existed, where my Wrath just cost nothing. I also have a skill right now going on called Wild Strikes, and that makes it so that I basically have Wind Fury on a Feral Druid. It's pretty effing cool. So that's why I mention it, and that's why I repeat myself in every single video, in case you haven't seen my other ones. And if you haven't, unlike the other YouTubers, I'll be like, make sure you go and check it. Shut up. Just watch this one, and that's it. You don't need to go to the other ones. So I'm in Desolace. So for perspective, that is west of the Crossroads, like directly west of, literally, Crossroads in the Barrens. You've got Ashenvale in here, okay? And I'm like right in here, in this blob of land. And I'm in the Kalimdor continent. This is the Eastern Kingdoms. You would think this is the Western Kingdoms, but we won't get into that. All right, so with all that babbling, what I'm going to go do now is kick the shit out of a few people. And I did do a couple of different settings on my graphics. I always have everything cranked up because my potato of a computer can handle it. You'd be surprised. WoW can still be a little bit demanding. I've been through some eras of World of Warcraft where I had a hard time keeping it at a fairly rock-solid 60 FPS with absolutely everything maxed. I think I'll show you really quick what it is I did that was a little different, if you give a crap. When it comes to the graphics... Hold on a sec. I just sneezed like a mad bastard. Anti-aliasing, I did advanced, and then I chose, like, you know, the very bottom one. I think that's the most powerful one. I used to have it on image-based technique. Then I put the multi-sample color all the way up to 8. What else did I do? I did something. I know I did. Fidelity. Yeah. And I did something. 16 instead of 8. Ray traced shadows on high instead of none. And the ambient occlusion is on cacao instead of auto detect or whatever it was on before. Resample quality, I have it on this one. I think I had it on bilinear or bicubic before. So a couple things like that. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not like night and day, but it's one of those things like where you would have to be like next to me or look at my other video and pay like super close attention. And there's just like there's something about it that's a little bit crisper. And I mean, it makes sense. Ray tracing can make a difference. I don't think it's really worth the resources sometimes, depending on the game. And also for the very little extra visual that you'll get, because it'll be a hit and miss from game to game. However, as you can tell, I'm running at 60 FPS, so I very, very rarely ever lose frame rates, so it doesn't matter to me. If I start dropping a bunch, then yeah, obviously I would have to turn down my graphics. I'm just grateful that I'm in a position to be able to play this properly. And I think I've mentioned this before, but it's a good story. So I had an old Acer laptop. There you go. A Lacer is an Acer laptop. And I remember when World of Warcraft first came out, like back in 2004, in November of 2004, I bought this laptop in 2005, and I was able to play the game at about 45, 50 FPS. Like, it was pretty much maxed out. I could run it at 60. But I'm saying if I fully cranked it back in the day, I could pretty much get near 60 FPS just doing a few subtle tweaks, mainly to the shadows. And then Burning Crusade came out, and I upgraded from 4 gigs of RAM to 8 gigs of RAM. And back then, that was actually a lot. That was a lot. At the time, 20 years ago. And that was fine, and my computer held up and such. And then, like, Wrath of the Lich King came out, and basically I was barely getting 12 FPS. That's how big of a jump from the demand the game was. And it rendered my my laptop useless for that game. Yeah, anyways. That is what it is. Now I'm not in that position, so it feels good because I've been contemplating getting a new computer for a couple of reasons. There's a few games I want to be able to run on Ultra/Epic. Some games call it Ultra, some call it Epic. And I can't quite do it. I can run it at 30 FPS, and for like a driving game, like a bus simulator game, that's all fine and dandy. Like I can live with that. But I have to admit, being able to play it at a rock solid 60 FPS would be cool. But to upgrade my computer just for that, just for like 2 or 3 games that are like driving simulator games to go from 30 to 60, I don't know. And I've been playing a lot of Once Human lately, and I'm running that full tilt, 45 FPS, locked, of course. Because at 60, it'll dip because it caps out my CPU right at 100. So that's how I know it's CPU intense for that game. This game, funny enough, used to be known to be like super intense for the CPU. It barely takes, like I had the graph thing showing earlier, it barely takes 7% of my CPU. And I only have a Ryzen 7 5700G. So again, it's amazing how that's changed the efficiency that CPUs have. Because this game's known to be, or at least it used to be known, like I said, as a very CPU intense game. Now it's more graphic. I don't know if they did some stuff behind the scenes, because this technically isn't 100% the real original game. It's like it is, but it isn't. So I don't know. But for a 20-year-old game, like, that's crazy. 2 decades. I still think it looks fine. Maybe I'm just biased. Whatever the reasons are. I just know that I'm having fun. Hate Fury horns. Well, they're all Hate Fury. Yeah, it's just that the horns don't drop as much. It is unfortunate because we could end up being stuck watching me. Or you could be stuck watching me. Just do this one area, but I'm hoping that's not the case. And I would never pause the video either. I just don't believe in that. People can do what they want with their recording. But I find it breaks the pace, the flow of my speech, and quite frankly, I just won't remember what I said. If I take a 5 or 10 minute break, I'll start repeating some of the shit I said earlier, and I don't want to do that. So I just keep going. So Nigel's Point is our flight path. For the Horde, it's all the way at Shadow Prey Village. But I think there's another one here, or at least that came later. That came later. That's not a classic thing at all. I can promise you that. They're not that generous when it comes to I'm gonna look at something again in a minute for my graphics here. Actually, I'll just do it now. Graphics, because there's something I want to see, and I thought I had DirectX disabled. What's VRS? No. Fidelity. This adjusts the quality of the filter. I think this is sort of like DLSS. Yeah, I think that's the equivalent to DLSS for this game. See again. Ray traced shadows. Eh. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I think this is fully maxed out. Alright, whatever. The horns. Need more horns, and then hopefully, after that... You know what I am tempted to do for the sake of the video, for bringing you through this pain? Is maybe go all the way to Feralis, go to Feathermoon Stronghold, and then fly back to Nigel's Point. Like, that's so exciting, eh? I would go all the way down here. All the way down here, right? All the way down here. And then what you do is you end up in here. So I would end up right there, right? I would go down, all the way here. Right there to, whatchamacallit. I just said it. Feathermoon Stronghold. And then fly all the way back. But we'll just kind of see. I don't want to get too excited. I don't want you getting too excited either. And yes, in case you're wondering, man, you're such a high level compared to these enemies. I've been following the guide. And don't forget, I'm also getting 150% XP. It used to only be 100 once you were 40. Because 50 was max. Now it's 50 to 60. That is 100% extra XP. So this is good. Those last 10 levels are going to be painful, but I'm not really in a rush. I'm just having fun. Trying to keep up with this game as much as I can. Really? You're just gonna look at me like that? Oh, you're evading. Really? To be honest, that's a glitch that's been there for 20 years. That exact platform there, there's like no pathfinding on their part. So they end up glitching, and they never fixed it after all these years. But yeah, you could see that Wind Fury effect. It's really neat. Whoops. Wrong button. What's in the chest? Plus, I have this thing, this buff, increased critical strike by 5%, spell damage 65, and all stats by 8%. Fervor of the Temple Explorer. Awesome. It looks like we're not going to be taking too long here. But this also shows perspective, because that's the other thing I always want to showcase in any game I play. Plus, it's a cop-out, so I don't have to pause the video and try to remember 15 minutes later what it is I said prior. I'll have to see where it wants me to go. Yeah, back into Nigel's Point. Okay. Wants us to go to Nigel's Point to turn in a quest. But what we're going to do, because I've already done that for a little bit and I took it this far, let me... I'm like scanning, like, where is this herb? Oh, it's right there. Things don't glow like they used to. How long have I been recording? 14 minutes. 14 minutes of just... That's terrible. I think I owe you that much. To go for a nice cruise, zoomed right out. I know I keep looking at my map. Let me make it smaller. And I know where I'm going. I totally know where I'm going. But I do like to look because when I'm recording, I get paranoid that I'm not going in the right direction. It's one of those things where instinctively, without thinking, I would just get to where I need to go. But if I'm recording and I'm talking, I get distracted, then I can absolutely end up somewhere I'm not supposed to be. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Again, not much to show. I can't get over how much fun I have had playing this game all these years. And it is a little bit slow, but people now do have their epic mount at level 60 where they can get the 100% buff. So it's twice as fast. It's double movement speed, essentially. Oh, I'm supposed to kill those guys. Whatever. Might as well, for the sake of this now, do this. Yeah. Little gnome mage. This is the kind of stuff. Seriously, I like doing. I play the game for just little things like that, mild little interactions. And people will be like, oh, thanks, wow. And then sometimes you end up chatting. You want to do a dungeon. Bada boom, bada bing. It's good times. I hate when this... God damn. Reagents. I don't like when it's tracking. I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to make the whole trip. Maybe. We'll see. Let's just see how it goes. Can I go this way? Yes, it is the way that I gotta go. Now there's... Now that's interesting right there. A rune. Seeds pop, bring it back to life. You know, I'll worry about all that later, honestly. I've got some pretty good runes for now. I'll worry about the finer details later. And that's why I haven't really played any alts. I've got so many games on the go. And with this game being not exactly something that's fast-paced like a Call of Duty game, I was like... Uh-oh. I'm not playing a bunch of alts. Yeah, we're going to be turning left eventually. Going to Feralis. You can already see the Feralis trees in the background there. What level are these? Oh, they're only 32. Yeah. Plus my aggro's going to be lower because I'm a higher level. 41.5. I don't think they care about the half. But yeah, when things are much slower and there's no flying, the scale of the game gets more appreciated, right? Like imagine if I had to walk this on foot. Oh, I would cry. That is some pretty good stuff right there. I have to do that because I've been not neglecting my herbalism, not at all. It's just it hasn't been going up as much as my skinning, and that's pretty obvious. Grom's, so I can't even pick up Grom's blood because that's like 250. Jesus. I can't even pick... Yeah, that's right. You saw me turn into a kitty and you're like, okay, I'm done. But I thought... Little rat bastard. For a second, I wasn't sure if that was actually going to port me somewhere. Really? There's a quest here? PvE server. Okay. He's thinking to himself, you're lucky it's PvE, because we know what he would try to do. I don't trust him. These life root are good. I should probably go to, oh, what's that place called? See, I even like this part, like the gradients of, like, desolate, or any zone for that matter. How, yeah, I was gonna say level 60 already. The day that you could go 60, like, that was just a few days ago, there was already 60s, like, within, like, I swear, like, within an hour. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But it's always been like that. I've never been a fast leveler, no matter what I do. I could play 15, 16, 18 hours a day, use guides, never die, buy all the best shit from the auction house, and I swear, I'm always, like, the last person. And it's not because I play Feral Druid. I've played different classes and stuff, and it's just the way it is. People will say, what's the rush? Well, there's a rush because the quicker you get to the end level, then it's about getting some gear, having some fun, and just going around helping people. Buffs, heals, helping them with more Laden, you know? Not Bin Laden, more Laden. You know, the guy from the place there. The guy from the thingamathingy. From the graveyard. Oh, I gotta look it up now. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember, and it's bugging me. Oh man. Raven Hill Cemetery. That's what I was talking about. Anyways. And the music changes. The wonderful thing. The lighting too is really pretty. There's just certain little, you know what this means. Of all the settings that I have, the game did not, from a lighting perspective, I don't think looked this good. And that could be, again, ray trace. I don't know. Yeah, there's just a certain... You know what? Let me try something. Oh, I can do ultra shadows. Oh. Well then. Forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe not a monumental difference, but anyways. I put the few things on ultra. Watch my computer melt now. Gale wins 43 only. Yeah, I'm not quite here yet. I don't even really know. I mean, I know what the level is. Just it depends on where you're going. Yeah, there's a vibrancy to the colors, definitely, with everything just being completely maxed out. Even like some of the I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it didn't quite look like this before. Back in the day. Now, let's see if I can find the enemy. The level of an enemy. Okay, so that's higher than I thought. Oh, that's actually only 7 levels higher than me. For a moment there, I think I forgot how high of a level I was. Not that bad. Not that far off from Western Plaguelands. I remember being an undead priest in Tristful Glades. And I went east past Scarlet Monastery. And I was like level 7 or 8 because that was my area and I was heading towards the Bulwark. Right? You know, like you remember. And I remember, you know, that little wooden thing with the gate to bring you into Western Plaguelands. And I go in and I was like, oh, this looks a little different. This looks cute. Cozy. And then a spider just ate me. And I was like, in like one hit. And then and I said, I don't understand what's going on here. Why isn't this guy using him out? He's level 60. I'm gonna miss the boat. Nah, maybe not. It just arrived. He really likes being a cat. See, there's a bunch of people. I mean, this is a more popular... No! You sack of shit. Ah. I'm not waiting. Sea lion! Because by the time the boat comes back, I'm already there. I better not get the fatigue thing. Am I gonna get fatigued? I'm on autopilot right now. Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna make it there before that boat gets back. I held on to my word. Not that I promised anything. But yes, if the water gets too deep, that's their way of them not wanting you to be able to do certain things, like to get certain places the way you do. I don't know why that was funny, but they were doing the same thing too. Like, I ain't waiting around. Mind you, I have a feeling it's not going to be that much shorter. How many people are... You don't... Sea lion form? Oh. Never mind. I was starting to wonder if he had it or not. Because I've done that before because I forgot. Yeah, see, the boat's leaving. Or it's just arriving. Yeah, it's just arriving. So I pretty much made it on time. Oh my god, I'm not in sea lion form. So we made it. It's exciting. I think so. I just hope some nausea or whatever doesn't kick my ass. There's just a bunch of them around here. Gonna grab that flight path. And we're going back to Nigel's Point. We're just adventuring here. Yeah, Nigel's Point. Bam! And there it is. And there it is. Just because that whole, like, for anything that's classic, like real classic, up until Wrath of the Lich King, when you're in Azeroth, you can't fly anywhere except for you can't get that aerial view, right? In Burning Crusade, sure, you could fly in Outlands. In Northrend for Wrath of the Lich King, sure, you could fly in Northrend. But you couldn't fly here till Cataclysm. Yeah. So, yeah. And I prefer this world. So, there it is. Like, apart from, like, the sharp leaves, like, being 2D, you know what I mean? Like, the way the leaves are, which is kind of funny. For some of the leaves. Not all the leaves are like that. They improved some of them in the newer zones throughout time. I still think this game looks pretty good for a 20-something-year-old game. They first started building it about 3-4 years before. So you're actually looking at almost a quarter of a century. See how the leaves are flat? I crashed into that bird. Or that hippogriff, whatever. Yeah, so we'll fly back to Nigel's Point. What I just did was completely useless. It was just for the sake of having fun. Going for a little adventure. Because that's all this ever is for me. It's just, like I said, a gamer vlog. It's even how the lighting changes once you transition. And then, boom. The Desolus. I don't know if there's anything... Ooh, purple sky. That's really cool. I kind of forgot about that. It's pretty trippy. Crash again. And then that's like that hub there where there's those Kodos and then you got to go over there, bring them back. Go over there, bring them back. That's the Horde little hub thing that they got. Anyways, I don't like moving the camera around too much when I'm doing a flight path thing, but whatever. What I might do someday, I don't know if I'll actually do this, is do a flight path, no commentary, ASMR World of Warcraft. And I'm going to record myself going from, like, freaking, like Undercity all the way to, like, Booty Bay. And then, you know, like, from one extreme to just, like, flying all the way across the entire game. And it's so amazing, too, because with the World of Warcraft music, it's not copyrighted. It's just awesome. It's just great. I'm just gonna go back to the inn. But yeah, that will be it for me. As always, if you like the video, go ahead and give it a like, give it a thumbs up. It does greatly help support that channel with the algorithm in trying to make me more relevant in the search results, because I see how well that's going. When I'm looking at stuff in...
See you later.
Or when people are looking stuff up on the internet. I don't think I've ever screwed up that speech before. And if you didn't like the video, thumbs down. I'll bend it in half, twist it, break it off your ass. And if you want to subscribe, naturally, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.